Jeremy White Podcast. Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Available wherever you get your podcasts.
The Jeremy White Podcast.
With Bustan. For the best Lebanese cuisine in Montreal, it's got to be Bustan. Visit bustan.ca.
And loudtracks.com. Helping fans connect to their favourite artists. 100% high quality, officially licensed band merchandise that supports the artists you love. Visit our official band merch store at loudtracks.com. Watch the Jeremy White Podcast exclusively on YouTube.
All right, very excited to welcome to the show Miss Sophie Simmons.
Hello.
Yo.
Yo.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm good. Let me just make sure we're recording here. We're doing it. You know how Zoom works. Yeah, okay, we're good there.
Perfect. Let me make sure this isn't going to tap out with the... Okay, yeah, there we go.
What's happening with you? Are you just leaving the studio? You're going out? What's going on?
I just left my home studio because
Nice.
I've been working from home a lot, and I'm just gonna go get a bite to eat and then go home. My big outing of the day is to pick up some food and bring it back home.
It's like intense excitement, right? Intense excitement. The one outing of the day. You gotta love it.
You know, I really look forward to this 20 minutes when I leave the house and I pick up my to-go order and I come home.
Dude, it's like my grandmother and I, we go to the grocery store or some, and it's just like...
I know.
She's like, I don't even mind it. I just want to come, for the ride. I'll sit in the car. I don't have to come in. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, that's if my brother's going somewhere, I'm like, can I just sit in the car? Can I come and sit in the car?
Well, that's it. Now we know how our pets feel whenever we go into the store and waiting for us.
Totally. I understand my dogs completely.
So I guess we should do a normal introduction, first of all. I'm Jeremy. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I do the Jeremy White Podcast. Also, I'm on the Beat 92.5 Montreal, where we are playing Mine, which is great.
Amazing.
And, 2020 has been a pretty crappy year for most people, but for you have a top 20 hit in Canada. That's pretty cool.
It is very cool. And I still haven't heard it on the radio because I've been in LA and I'm so mad about it.
Oh, man. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? Once this airs on the radio station, I'm going to go in on the logger. I'm going to take the audio. I'll chop it all up. I'll send it, with the FM processing and everything. And
yes.
I'll send it to you so you can hear it, get the full experience.
Yes, please. I've been getting sent, all of my friends growing up are still in Canada and they've been sending me every time it's on the radio. And it's every day.
Yeah.
But yet I have not heard it. I'm like, how?
No, man, it's played literally everywhere. So, I'm surprised nobody sent it to you yet. You got to hear it.
I have to.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I just want to catch it one time.
No, I'll get it to you. So I got to ask you, because I'm super curious about this, with your dad being who he is, legend, the Gene Simmons from Kiss, music runs in the family. When did you decide that you want to be a singer-songwriter and be in the music biz?
I think I always wanted to do it, but I just thought that it wasn't an option for me because my family already did that. There was going to be too much speculation on what I would do and how I would do it and if I got help or something. So I just didn't want to do it at all. So I went to school for computer science.
Oh, no way.
And then, which is completely different. And then halfway through my second year,
yeah, that's just the total opposite.
I know. I was like, I'm going to do something my family has never done. Computer science.
Yeah, it's kind of out there.
I don't know why I picked that. I just liked it. And then halfway through my second year, I was like, all these songs I'm writing in my room, I kind of want people to hear them. And here we are.
No, that makes sense. It's weird because, I'm 26 years old and I grew up watching you on Gene Simmons' Family Jewels and you were Sophie Simmons and, I just interviewed your dad and now I'm interviewing you and it's just it's kind of weird and cool how the world comes full circle,
I mean, that's very nice of you to say, but I'm much more behind the scenes these days. I write a lot of songs for other artists, not so much. I'm not always the artist. You know what I mean?
Right. So with this song with Felix, how did you decide to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be the singer. I'm going to be the star.
Actually, I wrote the song first about 3 years ago, and I wrote it with my friend Lewis, who's part of The Gifted, which is a production duo here in LA. So me and Lewis wrote it just on guitar 3 years ago, and then I was going to release it, and then some other big acts were going to release it, and it just never felt like it was going to be the right home for the song. It never felt all the way finished, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
And I've known Felix for a while because we've been writing together for his project. And we also never found that one song for him that was like gonna be it, like our collab. And I played him mine in the studio one day after I had written it, just asking like, who do you think this would be good for? Just curious, like, you're a producer, who could you see producing it? And we, you know, kicked around some ideas. And then like 6 months later or so, he asked if the song was still available and if he could give it a shot at production. And he was really able to like bring it home with the production. But like the vocals and the guitar and the drop melody, that's everything from like the demo from the day we wrote it.
Wow. Okay. So even like the do 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 that was from 3 years ago?
Yep, that's me singing it into the thing, and then Felix chopped it up and made it producery. But yeah, everything you hear is like top line wise was done 3 years ago, and then Felix like updated the hell out of the production and like made it a smash.
Wow, yeah, and you were saying that, you know, you haven't heard it yet through like FM processing and everything. I can say, you know, Felix is great. I mean, the production is fantastic. It's a very pleasurable sounding song. So big ups to him.
Yeah, he really killed it. And honestly, like top lining and production are so 50-50 when it comes to songs. Like you could have an amazing song on piano and then the production's just not there and you failed the song. Or like the production is amazing, but the top line is just meh, you know? You really
But
need
it also
both
takes
of
a
them.
bad producer to make a really good song suck.
Yeah. And like luckily I got a really great artist and producer to work on this with me and just bring the song home, and I'm just so happy it's not like sitting on my hard
totally.
drive
And
anymore.
it must mean a lot for you for it to go top 10 in Canada. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, it really does. And my mom is super excited about it. She's Canadian.
Yeah.
And she's just
I see her
really
tweeting
stoked,
about it all the time, and I'm like, damn right, mom loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, I knew it all along. And I'm like, remember when you told me to go to college and not do this?
Remember, mom, when you were just completely discouraging me from doing anything I wanted to do?
Like both my parents were super realistic, and they're like, this is a really hard industry. Like, probably don't do this. Probably get a real job. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And I went to school for like 2 years.
Well, and now you're a songwriter. So who else have you written songs for? Like, would we know any big radio hits that you were a secret writer on, or?
I wrote a song for Ella Henderson called Hold Me Close.
Wow.
That came
I
out
love her.
earlier this
Great
year.
voice.
With Sam Felt. Big voice, yeah, really. I mean, and she's the sweetest ever. She just destroyed that song. It was amazing. Like she killed the vocals on it. It was really amazing. And Sam Felt, I've been collaborating with for a couple of years now, and we worked on his Magnets EP that was named after the song Magnets that I wrote, and that EP did extremely well for him, and like launched Post Malone on there and everything. So yeah, I mean, I work despite what people may think.
You're not just, you know.
And it's not like me hopping on people's songs. Like I'm really writing them by myself and then pitching them out.
And you're waving the flag saying, hey, this is my stuff, you know?
I just feel like, especially for women in music, like I know I'm a special circumstance because my family's in music, so people go, oh, that's probably why she did it. But like a lot of women in music don't get the recognition for all the work they do. And a lot of women are awesome top liners and producers. And people think like DJs just asked us to sing the song when we actually like wrote it alone in our rooms. And then the DJ asked if they could be on the song. And it's just like, it's such a man's world still, music, but like there's more and more amazing like female artists coming through and songwriters and producers.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of big misconceptions in the industry. 1000%. It makes sense what you said.
Yeah, and Felix has been like the biggest champion of saying like, yo, Sophie wrote this song and like I did the production. It's 50-50. This is a teamwork thing. Like a lot of artists wouldn't give the credit to the songwriter. And it just says so much about his character and how cool he is that he would do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. What kind of music are you into? Like growing up, like were you super familiar with your dad's discography, and were you into the Kiss thing, or?
Not too much, to be honest, because we heard it anyway. Like it was there anyway.
Right.
So I never really needed to like seek it out. But we grew up listening to a lot of oldies in the car on the way to school because my parents loved oldies, and my dad is a huge Beatles fan. So lots of Beatles. And what else? My mom loves like a big female voice. So like anytime there was a big singer, we would like have that on repeat in the car on the way to school. Like I was at the mercy of whatever my mom.
Like Mariah Carey or something.
Like anything I know about music is from my mom playing things on the way to school. Like because she would trap us in the car and we couldn't escape, and she could just play whatever she wanted.
No, that's awesome though. That's exactly how I discovered the music I love too. My mom was listening to on the radio driving me to school, so it's very similar. I grew up listening to Van Halen, but also love Shania Twain and Kiss and whatever was in the car.
Exactly. As much as we want to admit we're so cool and we found it by ourselves, I'm like, no. My mom played this in the car, and that's why I listen to it.
Definitely my mom. All our parents. Yeah. All right, cool. So what's the deal then? Are you going to be working on like a full-length album, or are you just going to still do the behind-the-scenes thing, just writing for other people and selling your songs off, or do you want to be the star and get on stage and make it a big thing for yourself?
No, I think the most important thing for me is writing the songs, and that's what I've really been focusing on, especially during quarantine, and also launching new artists. Like I really love finding new talent and writing the songs for them and developing the sound of what that project will sound like. That's been really fun. And like one of my projects, Leah Kate, is someone who I've known for many years, and her song is now like blowing up on TikTok, and it got like 90,000 streams overnight from getting like 1,000 to 90,000 very suddenly.
Wow.
Yeah. So now we're developing more songs for her, and the future's looking so bright and great. And I think that's something I'm really passionate about these days. But I never felt the need to like be on stage and be the one to get the applause. I just want to like make the music.
Hey, that makes total sense, But let me ask you this. How are you discovering these artists, like through social media? You just discover them randomly, or?
Yeah, or like through word of mouth, I get connected with someone and they say, hey, there's this new girl or new guy. We think you would be a good fit. Do you want to have a session and see how it goes? And like, I always take the session because I remember starting out songwriting and no one wanted to write with me because I had no credits. It's like one of those catch-22 industries where like, you can't get credits until you work with people, but no one will work with you until you have credits.
Right, which is so weird.
And like, honestly, no one cared at all who my family was or whatever, nor did I want them to, but it was not helpful whatsoever. Still no one wanted to work with me. Like, you still have to be good at your job. That's what people don't get.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you come from. If you get in the room and you write a song and it's not a good song, you will not work. Like, that's it.
It's kind of like the same thing in broadcasting, though, because, at least I'm on the radio and I'm going to have the radio show as like a little bit of backup. But at the same time, for somebody that wants to do a podcast and interview somebody, publicists are like, oh, well, who did you have on the show before? Actually, I'm just starting the podcast, but I'd really like them to be my first guest. Oh, sorry, they're not available for you. Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we're not available for you.
Exactly.
But, in your case, it's like, if you're going to a publishing house or a label and you're like, I'm Sophie Simmons and my dad's Gene Simmons from Kiss. Give me a deal,
No, like who would do that, by the way? You would instantly not want to work with that person.
Well, that's it.
And
it's like they wouldn't want to work with you, A, because you have no experience, and B, because you just came in as an egotistical maniac.
Exactly. Honestly, when I started working with my manager, we both decided that we would send out music and pitches anonymously. So we just like skated by mentioning a name in the email at all. So we would say, hey,
wow,
representing this great new artist, here's her songs, let me know what you think. And we just wouldn't say a name. And then we would get the sessions and they'd be like, by the way, what's the writer's name? And then they would see it was me. But like, we did that for a good year and a half.
But you have to make it a secret. It's like,
yeah, but it was so much easier to get a chance when you were completely anonymous and people just heard your work than
right.
It was to see like, here's a headshot and my name and everything.
Yeah, because then there's no prejudice at all. You either have a good song or a bad song, and you're just going to be judged solely on your work, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. It really should. It's kind of a fair industry in that sense. Like, I do think that the good writers and producers rise to the top if they're willing to stick out all of this crap we have to go through.
Right. That's it. How has it changed your whole writing system? You know, obviously you're just sitting at home and having to work from home. Are you still doing like writing camps and stuff like that, or what's the situation like over there?
I haven't done.
Is it normal?
There are camps happening and stuff, but I've been writing from home because LA is just not handling COVID very well, so I don't feel comfortable doing in-person sessions here. So I've been working from home, and luckily I already knew how to vocal produce and produce a demo by myself. So I was pretty ready for quarantine, but a lot of my friends who just write melody and lyric were not prepared for when they would have to record their own demos. And it's been definitely a learning curve for a lot of people.
Right. And, it's good for you that you know how to do all that stuff. But you said something interesting there. So you have the lyric side and you have melody side. How does a song session work for you? Like, do you come in with lyric and melody, or is it melody and lyric? Like, how does that whole thing happen? Like, how does the collaboration work for you?
It's different every time. Like, in the case of me and Felix, the song was a finished song and he reproduced it. And that's how it ended up coming out. But a lot of the times we start from complete scratch. Like any other time that me and Felix have worked, he will be in the studio together, or now I guess we'd be on Zoom, and he would play some chords or I would play some chords. We would decide we like those chords and then find a melody and then maybe a lyric. But it's different every time. Sometimes you have a melody already and then you find the chords for that. Sometimes you have a lyric and you're determined to use that lyric, so you will make a melody fit on it. It's just there's no direct path to songwriting, which is also maybe why it's so difficult, because if there was directions on how to do it, we would all do it.
Well, that's it, right? Where does your song inspiration come from? Like the last song you wrote, did you come up with like a really catchy title about something that's going on in your life and, like not much is happening right now? Do you, like, right, okay, I'm on Zoom with Sophie. Like, does this turn into a song? Or?
No, there's not a lot to draw from in personal life these days because we're all kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's really pushed, I think, the imagination aspect of songwriting. And we've started writing some really strange songs during quarantine. It's getting very, like, we're really pushing our imaginary boundaries, I guess. But,
right.
like, a song could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about your personal life or personal experience. It could just be something that feels good. It could be about a feeling. It could be about a movie you saw or a piece of art, or like there is no boundary for songwriting, which is what's so great. And
right.
You start every session with absolutely nothing, and out of thin air you create an entire world in 3 minutes, and then you release it and everyone gets to hear it. It's just such a strange job.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's all mental at the end of the day.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, listen, mine has officially gone top 20 on the Montreal Hit 40 at the Beat 92.5 on our countdown.
Ah, that's so cool.
Yeah, so hey, who knows? By the end of the year, maybe it'll crack into the Montreal Hit 40 of 2020, the biggest chart show of the year,
Oh my God, don't even say that. I get sent stuff from Felix all the time, and I just can't believe that the song is doing so well.
Yeah.
And it's just like such, like, things like this are so once in a lifetime. I don't think people understand. Like, they hear songs on the radio, but you don't know how many hundreds of songs those people have written to just get that one that you get to hear on the radio.
Well, listen, I don't think this is going to be the last one.
So thank you.
I think this is going to be the first of many more to come. And, the collaboration with you and Felix, who knows? Maybe you'll have another banger next year.
Thank you so much. I hope so.
All right. Well, mine, Sophie Simmons, Felix Cartal, is available now wherever music is sold. You can buy it, download. Also here in Montreal is the Beat 92.5. Buy it so she has a little bit more gas money to go right around.
That would be nice. Thank you.
Any last words for any message for your fans out there in Montreal?
I would just say, everyone, try to keep your spirits up. I know 2020 hasn't been the best for all of us, but at least we can connect through music.
No, I totally hear that. I got you right there. I think at the end of the day, music's all we got.
Definitely this year, that's all we got.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Sophie, for chatting, and this was so cool to chat with you. Next time you're in Montreal and Kiss is here, you better come hang out.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much.